Right now, inside the tank behind your toilet seat, there's a slow chemical war going on that you cannot see. Calcium and magnesium are drifting out of your water every single time you flush, and they are settling onto the flapper, the fill valve, the overflow tube, the rim jets, anywhere the water touches and slows down even for a second. Tonight, for about 50 cents, you can stop that war in its tracks with something sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now. Not a chemical you buy off a shelf with a skull on the warning label. Vinegar, plain white vinegar. And here's the part that should genuinely surprise you. Multiple licensed plumbers will tell you, on the record, that they trust this 50-cent kitchen staple more than the blue tablets you can buy at any grocery store for $8 or $9 a box. Not because the tablets don't work, because of what they do to your toilet while they're working. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why the thing marketed to you as the easy fix is quietly wearing out the parts inside your tank, and why the thing that takes 5 minutes of actual effort is the one plumbers keep recommending instead. Let's start with what's actually happening inside that tank. Because if you don't understand this part, nothing else will make sense. Every time your toilet refills, water flows in through the fill valve, sits in the tank, and eventually flushes back out. If you have hard water, and most of the country does, that water is carrying dissolved calcium carbonate and magnesium with it. Every time that water sits still or slows down, even for the few seconds it takes to refill a tank, a tiny fraction of those minerals drop out of solution and stick to whatever surface they land on. Do that thousands of times a year, year after year, and you get what plumbers call scale. It shows up as white or gray crust on the tank walls. It clogs the tiny holes under the rim of the bowl that are supposed to direct water evenly when you flush. And it narrows the trapway, the internal channel that carries waste out. When that happens gradually enough, you don't even notice it happening. You just notice one day that your toilet flushes weaker than it used to, or takes longer to fill, or makes a new sound it never made before. That's the scale. That's minerals from your own water supply, slowly cementing themselves onto the inside of a tank you never look at. Now here's where most people go wrong, and it's not their fault. Because the industry built an entire category of product around this exact problem, and it is not the product plumbers actually reach for. Walk into the cleaning aisle of any grocery store, and you will find drop-in toilet tank tablets. Blue ones, usually. You drop one in the tank, it dissolves slowly, and every flush is supposed to come out a little cleaner, a little bluer, smelling like something synthetic and floral. It is marketed as the maintenance-free option. Drop it in, forget about it, your toilet stays clean for months. And for a lot of people, that sounds like exactly what they want, because who actually wants to clean the inside of a toilet tank? Here's the problem. Nobody puts on the box. Most of those tablets are bleach-based, and bleach sitting in continuous, prolonged contact with the rubber and plastic parts inside your tank is exactly the kind of exposure those parts were never designed for. The flapper, that rubber seal at the bottom of the tank that lifts up when you flush and drops back down to hold water, is usually made from a rubber compound that degrades under constant chlorine exposure. So does the fill valve seal. So do the gaskets. Over months of a bleach tablet sitting in the tank, the rubber starts to lose its elasticity, gets brittle or gets soft and mushy depending on the compound, and eventually it stops sealing properly. When the flapper stops sealing, water leaks slowly from the tank into the bowl around the clock. You hear your toilet randomly refilling itself at 2 in the morning. You watch your water bill creep up for no obvious reason. And the fix at that point isn't a 50-cent bottle of vinegar anymore. It's a service call and a new flapper, sometimes a new fill valve too. This is not a fringe opinion. Hendrik van de Pol, a master plumber and co-owner of a plumbing company, has said plainly that while those chlorine tablets do keep a tank looking clean, they will eventually damage every rubber fitting inside it. His colleague, plumbing technician Ethan Lawrence at the same company, goes further and says he actively steers customers away from tank tablets altogether, including the gentler vinegar-based ones marketed as the eco-friendly alternative, because there's a real risk if a homeowner ever mixes them with a bleach-based product by accident. Major toilet manufacturers back this up in writing. Both Kohler and American Standard, two of the biggest toilet makers in the country, publish guidance specifically advising against continuous in-tank bleach tablets because of exactly this kind of component damage. It's sitting right there in the manuals, nobody reads. So why do the tablets dominate the shelf space anyway? Because convenience sells. A product you drop in once and forget about for 3 months is an easier thing to put in a shopping cart than a bottle of vinegar and a 5-minute chore you have to remember to do yourself. The tablet company is not lying to you about what the product does in the short term. Your toilet probably will look cleaner, but nobody printed, "This will quietly wear out your flapper over the next year," on the front of the box, because that's not a message that sells tablets. It's just the trade-off you're making without knowing you're making it. Now, let's talk about the 50-cent alternative and why it actually works at a chemical level, not just as a folk remedy your grandmother swore by. White distilled vinegar is diluted acetic acid, usually around 5% acetic acid to 95% water. Acetic acid is a mild acid, mild enough that you put it on salads, but it is more than strong enough to react with calcium carbonate, which is the primary mineral in limescale. When acetic acid comes into contact with calcium carbonate, it dissolves it, converting the hard mineral deposit into calcium acetate, which is water soluble, and carbon dioxide, which just bubbles away. That's the entire mechanism. It's the same basic acid-base reaction you'd get from a science fair volcano, just slow and quiet instead of foamy and dramatic. The scale doesn't get scrubbed off so much as it gets chemically converted into something that simply washes away. That's why letting it sit matters more than scrubbing hard. You're not battling the deposit, you're dissolving it. And critically, vinegar does this without the chlorine that's degrading your rubber parts in the tablet version. It's mildly acidic, not oxidizing, which is a meaningfully different kind of chemical stress on rubber and plastic. Consumer Reports has noted specifically that vinegar is considered safe for the plastic and porcelain components in a toilet tank, with the one real caution being prolonged, repeated contact with rubber parts specifically, not a single occasional soak. That's a very different risk profile than a tablet sitting in continuous contact with your flapper for 90 days straight. This is also why a full gallon of vinegar costs somewhere around $3 to $4 at most grocery stores, and a single toilet tank cleaning only uses 2 to 3 cups of it. Do the math on that, and you're looking at somewhere around 50 cents of actual product for one full treatment. Compare that to $8 or $9 for a box of tablets that need replacing every couple of months, tablets that are simultaneously degrading parts that cost real money to replace. The Plumbers method isn't just gentler on your toilet, it's also just cheaper by a wide margin, even before you factor in the repair calls you're avoiding. All right, let's get into exactly how to do this tonight, step by step, because the method matters here just as much as the ingredient. Doing this wrong won't destroy your toilet, but doing it right gets you a noticeably better result for the same 50 cents in the same 5 minutes. Step 1, locate the shutoff valve. It's almost always on the wall or the floor behind your toilet, a small oval handle connected to a thin supply line running up into the base of the tank. Turn it clockwise until it stops. This cuts off the water supply so your tank won't refill while you're working, and so the fill valve and the float aren't sitting in vinegar the entire time, which isn't necessary for it to do its job. Step 2. Flush the toilet and hold the handle down, or reach into the tank and lift the flapper manually, so as much water as possible drains out of the tank. You want the tank as empty as you can get it. This matters because vinegar diluted by a full tank of water is far weaker than vinegar, working at close to full strength against dry, exposed mineral deposits. A little water left in the bottom is completely normal and fine. Step 3. Take a look at what you're dealing with before you pour anything in. If you're seeing light gray or chalky white residue on the tank walls, that's straightforward mineral buildup, and a simple vinegar soak will handle it easily. If you're seeing orange or reddish-brown staining, that's iron in your water supply, which vinegar can still help with, but might need a slightly longer soak or a second treatment to fully clear. If you're seeing black or greenish slime, especially near the water line, that's likely mold or mildew rather than mineral scale, and vinegar handles that too, since it's a mild disinfectant in addition to being a descaler. Step 4. Pour in your white distilled vinegar. For a standard tank, 2 to 3 cups poured directly onto the stained areas is enough for routine light buildup. If it's been years since anyone touched this tank and the buildup looks heavy, you can use more. And some people fill the tank close to a third or half full with straight vinegar for a deep clean. Either way, this is the point where your 50 cents actually goes to work. Don't add baking soda into the tank at this stage. That combination is fantastic in the bowl, where the fizzing reaction helps lift stains off porcelain, but inside the tank, where there's limited airflow and it's sitting against rubber and plastic hardware, that same fizzing reaction has been flagged by more than one plumbing professional as unnecessary and occasionally risky. Richard Dixon, a plumbing expert, has recommended giving straight vinegar somewhere around 12 to 13 hours to properly sit and work inside a tank. Home inspector Hubert Miles has separately warned that mixing baking soda into that same enclosed space can create a surprisingly intense localized reaction, more heat than people expect from something that looks like a kitchen science experiment. Keep the two methods separate. Vinegar alone in the tank, vinegar and baking soda together in the bowl, where there's open air and no rubber components nearby. Step 5. Let it sit. This is the step everyone wants to skip, and it's the one that actually determines whether this works. 30 minutes will do something, several hours will do a lot more. Overnight, somewhere in that 12 to 13 hour range, gives the acetic acid enough time to fully convert stubborn calcium deposits into calcium acetate without you having to scrub at all. If you only have one bathroom in the house and can't leave it out of commission overnight, even a full hour before you go to bed and finish in the morning makes a real difference over a 30-second pour and immediate flush. Step 6. Turn the water supply back on, let the tank refill partway, and take a stiff bristled brush. An old toothbrush works well for the tighter corners. Give the walls a light scrub. You'll notice immediately that what used to require real elbow grease now comes away with almost no pressure, because the vinegar has already broken the mineral bond for you. You're not scraping the crust off the porcelain-coated surface anymore. You're just wiping away what's already been dissolved. Step 7. Flush several times, at least 2 or 3 full cycles, to make sure every trace of vinegar is cleared out of the tank before you're done. This matters both because you don't want lingering acidity sitting against your components any longer than necessary, and because you don't want the next person who uses the bathroom wondering why the water smells faintly like a salad. That's the whole process. 5 real minutes of hands-on work, 1 soak you do while you sleep, and the total ingredient cost comes out to roughly 50 cents. Now, a few things worth knowing before you make this a habit, because more isn't always better here. And the plumbers who recommend this method are specific about frequency for a reason. This is not something you need to do weekly. For most households, a vinegar tank cleaning done twice a year is genuinely sufficient to keep scale from building up to a problematic level. If you have particularly hard water, you might benefit from doing it quarterly instead. What you don't want to do is treat vinegar the way the tablet companies train you to treat their product, something permanently present in the tank at all times, even though vinegar is gentler than bleach on rubber components. Prolonged and repeated exposure over months rather than a single overnight soak a couple times a year can still soften rubber gaskets over a long enough timeline. The plumbers who recommend vinegar over tablets aren't recommending you replace one permanent additive with another. They're recommending an occasional deliberate soak instead of a slow-release chemical sitting in your tank nonstop for months at a time. The method works specifically because it's a periodic maintenance routine, not a set-it-and-forget-it product. It's also worth being honest about vinegar's limits because this isn't a miracle cure for every toilet problem, and pretending otherwise would set you up to be disappointed. If you've got years of severely neglected buildup, thick, flaking rust, rather than light staining, or hardware that's already visibly deteriorating, a single vinegar soak isn't going to fully reverse that. It might take 2 or 3 rounds, spaced a week or 2 apart to work through heavy calcification, and if the parts themselves are already failing, cleaning them won't undo mechanical wear. Vinegar dissolves mineral deposits. It does not repair a flapper that's already cracked or a fill valve that's already worn out from age. If you've gone through a proper vinegar soak and the tank still looks heavily stained, or the toilet is still flushing weakly, that's the point where it makes sense to call an actual plumber rather than keep pouring more vinegar in and hoping. One more precaution worth repeating clearly, because it matters for safety and not just for your toilet's longevity. Never mix vinegar with any bleach-based product, whether that's a leftover tablet dissolving in the tank, a splash of bleach from a separate cleaning session, or a commercial cleaner that lists bleach on the label. Mixing an acid like vinegar with bleach can release chlorine gas, which is genuinely hazardous to breathe in an enclosed bathroom. If you've been using bleach tablets up until now and want to switch to the vinegar method, flush the tank thoroughly several times first, let it run clean, and only then start your vinegar soak. Don't ever pour vinegar directly on top of a dissolving tablet. Let's also talk about your fill valve and rim jet specifically, because tank staining is the visible part of this problem, but it's not actually the part that affects performance the most. The tiny holes underneath the rim of your bowl are what direct water around the bowl evenly when you flush, and they're small enough that even a modest amount of mineral buildup can partially block them. When that happens, your flush starts coming out uneven, weaker on one side than the other, and you might not even connect it back to mineral scale because you're not looking at the tank, you're looking at the bowl. A vinegar soak that includes wetting a cloth or a bit of paper towel in vinegar and tucking it up against the rim jets for the same overnight period can clear that blockage the same way it clears tank staining through slow acid contact rather than scrubbing. If your flush has felt noticeably weaker over the past year or two and you assumed it was just an old toilet, there's a real chance it's actually mineral-clogged rim jets, and that's a problem the same 50-cent method solves without you ever needing to call anyone. Stepping back from the mechanics of it, here's the actual pattern worth remembering. This isn't really a story about a secret plumber has been hiding from you. It's a story about 2 products that solve the same problem through 2 completely different trade-offs, and only one of them tells you about the trade-off on the packaging. The tablet is optimized for convenience and shelf appeal. Drop it in, don't think about it again, and it does genuinely deliver on that promise in the short term. What it doesn't advertise is the slow cost that shows up 8 or 10 months later in the form of a flapper that won't seal, a fill valve that won't shut off properly, and a water bill that quietly climbs while you're trying to figure out why your toilet keeps running at night. The vinegar method asks a little more of you up front, an actual 5 minutes of attention twice a year instead of 0 minutes ever. And in exchange, it protects the parts inside your tank instead of degrading them. That's a trade most people would happily make if anyone ever explained it to them clearly, which is really the whole point of laying this out. Nobody's hiding a formula. The chemistry here has been understood and published for a long time. Acetic acid dissolving calcium carbonate is basic high school chemistry, and there are cleaning guides on major home improvement sites explaining the same reaction. What doesn't get explained nearly as often is the comparison, why the product that's sitting at eye level on the store shelf might not be the one the person who actually repairs toilets for a living would choose for their own bathroom. So here's what tonight actually looks like if you want to try this. Go find the vinegar in your kitchen, or grab a cheap gallon jug next time you're at the store, since you'll get years of use out of one bottle at 2 to 3 cups per treatment. Turn off your shutoff valve behind the toilet. Flush to drain the tank as empty as you can get it. Pour in 2 to 3 cups of white vinegar straight onto any visible staining. Let it sit overnight if you can manage it, or at minimum a full hour. Turn the water back on in the morning, give the walls a light brush, and flush it through 2 or 3 times to clear it out completely. That's the entire process, and it costs about 50 cents. Do that twice a year, maybe 4 times a year if your water's particularly hard, and you're looking at a toilet tank that stays clear of scale, a flush that keeps its full strength, and rubber components that last as long as they were actually designed to last. Instead of degrading months early from constant chlorine exposure, they were never built to handle. No service call, no replacement parts, no mystery water bill increase you spend a weekend trying to diagnose. Just a bottle you probably already own, a few hours of patience while it works on its own, and a small habit twice a year that a licensed plumber would tell you is worth more than almost anything you could buy off that cleaning aisle shelf. Cheap, simple, and it's sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now, waiting for tonight.